Thank you, Kathy. The work that you do and the machinations of local government, and what you do is important. And I know it's not very appreciated at times, and it can be a thankless task, but actually I would like to say thank you to you all on behalf of all the people that you serve, whether rightly or wrongly we agree or disagree, because what you do here affects people's lives day to day, and don't ever underestimate the importance of what you're doing, no matter how boring, tedious, frustrating or thankless it might feel at times. I'm reminded today in the Church of England we celebrate the life of Josephine Butler. Josephine Butler was one of the Christian social reformers who, along with Florence Nightingale, Elizabeth Fry, William Wilberforce and some of the others, made such big changes to their communities and this nation and even the world, and very often just through hard work of forming committees, for example. Josephine Butler formed the Ladies' National Association for the Repeal of the Contagious Diseases Act, which led to was a milestone in the history of female emancipation, and the British and Continental Federation for the Abolition of Prostitution, which all sounds very boring, and I'm sure the committee meetings were quite boring, but what she did in that was abolish the white European slave trade. Butler became aware of the slave trade of young women from England to mainland Europe in 1879. Young girls were considered fair game, as the law allowed them to become prostitutes at the age of 13. After playing a minor role in starting an investigation into an accusation of trafficking, Butler became active in the campaign in May 1880 and wrote, "The official houses of prostitution in Brussels are crowded with English minor girls, and that in one house there are immured little children, English girls of from 12 to 15 years of age, stolen, kidnapped, betrayed, got from English country villages by every artifice and sold to these human shambles." So her work abolished that and saved hundreds, thousands of girls probably through that sort of miserable life. She was also a very devout Christian lady, and whether you believe in Christianity and God or things or not, it was that she did say this, that God and one woman make a majority. So, you know, it might pay you, actually, to take the main man on your side, because then you will get a majority. But she also said this, "There is much more exact correspondence between the natural and moral world than we are apt to take notice of." And so whether we believe in a God or not, the world does work as if there is a God. That's a universal law, if you like. And so I would encourage you to continue to invite people to come and say prayers to open your meetings, because even if you're not a Christian, you may be an atheist, what it will do is help you put that moral perspective into what you're doing and to ground your work in humility and social awareness. So anyway, I won't go on because the fire alarm will go off again, and I'm aware that the mayor is probably boiling in her robes. So let us pray. Eternal God, who rulest in the kingdoms of men, grant, we beseech thee, honour and safety to the members of this council, in peace so to preserve it that it corrupt not, in trouble so defend it that it suffer not. Direct and prosper all their consultations, that all things may be so ordered and settled by their endeavours upon the best and surest foundations. Grant that we who bear office in the world may think lightly of our place and honour and seek rather the welfare of those whom we serve. Give peace in our nation, peace in our dwellings, and peace in our hearts. Through thy Son, our Saviour, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Brooke. Are we ready to start the stream? Thank you. Welcome, members, to our annual meeting. As you're all aware, this is the time of year where we elect our new leaders of the council. Mr. White, do we have any apologies for the meeting, please?
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do indeed. We've got apologies from Councillors Dexter, Saxby, and Vashon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. White. Before we move on to the appointment of the Mayor, I would like to present a special recognition award to Mr. Chris Chapman. He's done an awful lot of work for the borough with his photography and things like that. Mr. Pearce, who is my deputy, would you like to say a few words? Because I'm sure you're more familiar with the work that Chris has done than I have. Sorry. Yes, I'm kind of springing this on you. You weren't ready for this, were you?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is a worthy award. Good morning, councillors, by the way, I'm sorry. It's a very important award because I've known Chris Chapman's work for many years, and any of you who are Dartmoor ward members or any nearby wards will know that his photography work over the last 50 years has been amazing and also extremely important. And there are photographs that he took in various parts of Postbridge and Bellever and Throwley and all around, of farmers who I knew 50, 60 years ago, and working farms on Dartmoor which are no longer working in that way because of the advance of modern agriculture. And the work that Chris has done is so internationally important, I feel, and it is time that he was recognised by West Devon for the work that he has done. And if any of you want to see his photographic work, there's an exhibition being held at Providence Chapel, which is between Throwley and Chagford, and it's well worth a visit. If you go onto the website, you'll get all the dates of when it's open. But it was done originally last year to raise money for the restoration of the chapel, which is one of the oldest ones in the area. And it's just evolved into something much greater now, which is very, very important. So it gives me great pleasure that Chris is here to receive this award from our Mayor in recognition of the work that he's done over many years. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Pearce, for saying those few words for us.
I'm Chris, that one isn't.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Let me.
Where do we want me to stand?
I don't know. They're always going to direct us, so it's a wonderful joy of being in this position. They tell you exactly where to stand and what to do, so it's fabulous. One sec before you get carried away, gentlemen. Thank you. And then, just to make it a little bit more special, it's difficult to see with it in there. But we can see the. Thank you. It's determined for me to cook a little bit longer.
can assure you, everybody, that's not what I do. Just very quickly, 1972 was the first time I set foot on Dartmoor, and I instantly fell in love with the place. I was at Teignmouth Grammar School. I was one of a bunch of hoodlums who had Lambretta scooters, and we went off to Plymouth today to tear up the town. And one gentleman from Bishop Staten said to me, "Oh, let's not do this, let's go back over Dartmoor." And I said, "Do you know the way?" And he said, "Yes, I know the way." And that's how I first drove over Dartmoor. I came here to live in 1975 just with the idea of staying for 1 year and doing a documentary on hill farming. 23 and I'm still here. I've loved the place, but more importantly, I've loved the people, and they've been very, very kind to me and respected what I've done with my camera. And I just quickly like to say, the Providence Chapel project, if you can get out there to see it, it was on all last year. It's a permanent exhibition. It's on the second Saturday, get my numbers right, the second Saturday of each month between May and October. Gentleman over there, wonderful man, Ian Crawford, dreamt that idea up to secure the future of the chapel, and with the help of Simon Timms, an ex-Devon County Councillor, they secured a grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund. I was just very touched and very surprised. His lovely wife, Jackie, Margaret, who heads the fantastic team. If you want the best teas in Devon, go to Providence Chapel. Anyway, you've got a lot of work to do, and thank you. Don't forget the cakes, yeah,
Yes,
there we are.
yes.
Thank you very much, everybody. Lovely.
You say that the people have respected you. I think it's respect the people and respect the law. Thank you, members. Members, if we can move on to item 2 of the agenda, please, which is the appointment of the new mayor for the coming year. Councillor Ewings, would you like to make the proposal, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It gives me great pleasure to propose Councillor Lynn Daniel to be the West Devon Mayor for the civic year 2023 to 2024. Lynn has been an excellent councillor for the past 4 years, showing integrity and diligence. She first offered to be a chair of the Fusion Task and Finish group for overview and scrutiny. She ably led the group and produced a detailed report that was carried through and that Fusion much appreciated, especially the work that Lynn had put in with meeting their officers as well as ours as a team. As we know, Lynn is a passionate Green Party member and has fought to bring green issues to West Devon. Lynn has led an interesting life, leaving her A-levels to come to live in Devon, which proved a good decision as she became the English women's surf champion. Lynn then studied in her late 30s, qualifying as a social worker, working for Devon County Council for 20 years in Oakhampton and Tavistock, specialising in adult mental health. Lynn has 3 children and 5 grandchildren and lives with her husband, a retired GP, in South Taunton, where they are heavily involved in the community. Lynn is currently leading a bid to buy the post office stores in South Zeal, which will be a community-led benefits society. She has also started what is known as the Beacon Path Committee to raise funds and awareness for active travel route to go to Oakhampton. In her spare time, which I don't think she has very much of, but Lynn plays the flute for several musical groups in Belston and Moulton Hampstead. Lynn is a very interesting lady, always on the go. Everything she does she does to the best of her ability, and she works hard at what she does. Therefore, I have full confidence in nominating Lynn Daniel to be the Mayor of West Devon.
Thank you, Councillor Ewings. Councillor Drury, I believe you are willing to second that proposal.
Yes, I'm very happy to second that proposal, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Members, are there any other nominations for the role? In that case, members, can we please vote for acceptance for that?
That's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. White. Congratulations, Councillor Daniel. Come and swap. I think, members, we will just take a few moments while we swap over.
Members, please be upstanding.
I, Lynn Daniel, having been elected to the office of Mayor of West Devon Borough Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to my best judgment and ability. So now, item 3 of your agenda is the appointment of Deputy Mayor. Sorry, I'd make my address first. I thought you pointed in there first. So hello, fellow councillors and guests. Thank you for attending the first AGM of West Devon Borough Council for this newly elected council. This is an exciting time for the council with many changes, challenges and decisions ahead of us in the next 4 years. As a council, we have many responsibilities. Unfortunately, potholes aren't one of them. Firstly, I'd like to express my gratitude and thanks for the support shown by the council by choosing me to be the first mayor of this 4-year term. I'm honoured to have the role of representing West Devon Borough Council and look forward to attending events across the area and meeting residents. I will listen and respond to what our residents have to tell me. I want to extend my sincere thanks on behalf of Councillor Leach and Councillor Mott for their sterling work in the Mayor's role during the past 4 years. Councillor Leach and Councillor Mott both served 2 years in the role because of the disruption of COVID. It's been a particularly difficult time to be Mayor during the pandemic period and the recovery period. Many of the usual events and meetings did not take place, so thank you again, both of you, for supporting the council and helping the local community during this unprecedented time. I also want to thank our skilled and capable staff of officers who've worked so diligently in the past 4 years and kept the council running efficiently. We have further mountains to climb, not least dealing with the housing crisis and the cost of living crisis, which are affecting so many local people. I'm sure we will succeed if we continue to work together. As Mayor, I will promote West Devon and its many beautiful features, as well as supporting the businesses, farms and communities that make up our population. We live in such a lovely area with so many choices for work and leisure, and I thank all the people who work hard to bring prosperity and opportunity to West Devon. I have a real sense of pride in being in a position to champion our area and also a sense of duty to its people. My chosen charity will be Devon Wildlife Trust, and I hope to raise funds for this worthwhile local charity. I ask everyone to do what they can to restore and regenerate the natural environment and make Devon a place where wildlife can really thrive again. I'll encourage children to become more active and involved in environmental issues and remember that no one is too small to make a difference. Children's future prospects will depend on the decisions we adults make and act upon now. And how we choose to meet the challenges we face will be crucial in ensuring the well-being of those future generations, and children need a voice. I am a champion of active travel and hope to see many more safe active travel routes are planned across West Devon. Active travel will be a key part of the delivery of the new transport hub in Oakhampton, which is only possible because of the Council's successful grant application to government. My vision is for everyone to have access to active travel paths which form an integrated route across Devon. I will visit as many communities, local projects and businesses as I can in this coming year to get a real picture of our area and in all its diversity and character. I'm a listening mayor and will be happy to hear local people's ideas and views, so please invite me along. Thank you again for the honour of being Mayor of West Devon. I'll do my best to work hard for our people every day for the next year and beyond. Sorry. Now we're on to item 3 of your agenda, the appointment of the Deputy Mayor. And I invite a proposal for Deputy Mayor for Devon Sellis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And can I be first congratulate you on your appointment and election to the post of Mayor. I would like to propose a nomination for Deputy Mayor, another one-woman dynamo who is extremely active in her ward and in the area of Tavistock as a whole, co-founder of Tidy Tavi and the Tavistock Health and Wellbeing Alliance, has been an elected member of this council since 2007 and has also been a county councillor at Devon County Council since 2009 and would bring a wealth of experience to this role. Debo has been the Vice Chair of Devon County Council, has been a member of just about every committee going at various times on West Devon Borough Council, and has chaired the Planning Committee, Overview and Scrutiny Committee and Audit Committee in her time as a councillor. So members, I have no hesitation in proposing the election of Councillor Sellis to the role of Deputy Mayor.
And can I have a seconder for that?
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor, on your appointment and a wonderful speech. Very happy to second that.
And are there any other nominations? If not, I will ask you to vote on the proposition and declare the results.
In favour. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So, I declare that Debo Sellis is now Deputy Mayor of West Devon Borough Council.
I, Debo Sellis, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of West Devon Borough Council, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. May I take this opportunity to congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, and look forward to working with you. And I'm sure that we'll make a strong team representing the people that we're honoured to represent. Mr. Mayor, honoured guests, fellow councillors, I look forward to, as a Girl Guide, Queen's Guide, I promise to do my best to serve the community and to help people. Thank you very much.
And now item 4 on the agenda, a vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor. I call upon Councillor Neil Jury to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Mott.
What an honour to propose a vote of thanks. As has already been said, Councillor Mott took over the role in the depths of the COVID situation that we were in, and has been exemplary in the way that the business of the council in this chamber has been managed, but has also been exemplary in representing the borough at the many and varied events that I know that she and Kevin have been to. Carrying out those duties diligently, but also with a sense of humour and enjoyment. I know during her time, one of the things that Caroline is most proud of is the fundraising for special causes that's taken place. And I know that in her first year of office, she managed to raise £3,500 for the Farming Community Network, which is a brilliant charity. And last year, a further £2,000 for the North Dartmoor Rescue Service, another brilliant charity. So thank you for doing that, Caroline, and thank you for what you've done for the council over the last 2 years. It really has been exemplary, but as I said, carried out with also a sense of fun and a sense of humour. Thank you for that.
Can I have a seconder for that proposal?
I'm more than happy to second the words that Councillor Jury has offered to Caroline. She has been an amazing mayor and has led this council with much humour. Not everybody sometimes understands her humour from there to here. It's not very far, but Caroline and I have always had it, and then she gets the giggles, like she has now. But Caroline has also been very supportive to me personally for my daughter, particularly with her charity, the Farming Community Network, which helps young farmers with their mental health. We have been able to talk often about choices my daughter has made and the encouragement that, as Caroline has a dairy farm as well, I know her dairy lady well because I've watched her grow up. So we've had much in common, and I hope that stays, Caroline, and wish you and Kevin and your family a bit of time off.
Thank you. And now a response by the retiring mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members. And thank you all for your vote of thanks. It has been an absolute honour to represent the council as your mayor for a second year. I'm also delighted to see some of our past mayors in attendance today as we enter a new civic year, and our invited guests from Oakhampton and Tavistock. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come along today. As always, it's always been a busy year, attending various events, all of them interesting and meeting with old friends and new. I've enjoyed brass bands, art exhibitions, cake and coffee, along, as always, with the inevitable discussion on whether it should be jam or cream first. Of course, I would not be able to talk about the past year without mentioning the sad loss of our Queen. It was an absolute privilege to represent the borough at this time and share in the national recollections of a truly formidable woman who put service at the forefront of everything she did. To be able to make the proclamation of a new king is once-in-a-lifetime event, and it was incredible to be part of some of our community events for the coronation weekend. As we have the reassurance of continuity as the role of monarch is handed from one generation to the other, we have the same with the role of mayor. It is passed from one councillor to another. Its importance is not to be underestimated, Mr. Mayor. At a service I attended, I was reminded of the ongoing cycle that we go through with this role and the way we are welcomed to various events. Organisers are pleased that we take the time out of our busy schedules to see what they do and to take an interest in the work they carry out on behalf of the community. Attendees sit up and take notice if the mayor is present. This council is now 49 years old and will celebrate its half-century next April. and I look forward to seeing how it continues to evolve while serving the needs of its residents. Of course, not what I've done would be possible without the support of my friends and family. My husband Kevin and daughter Lucy, who are here today and have kept me company on occasion, and also for Christine for helping with events and fundraising. So I've got a little something for you. Christine? Thank you all of you for your support. I wouldn't have been able to have done this without that. Mr. Mayor, it would be remiss of me not to mention the previous councillors of this council, including my deputy, Terry Pearce. Unfortunately, Terry was unable to stand for election due to health, but he has been a great support to me this past 2 years, and I would like to thank him for his contribution to the council for the last 16 years. Terry, would you like to come up for a second, please? Terry, in recognition of the work that you've done, I'd like to present this to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a
we've got a obligatory.
Yes, yeah. It's been a pleasure working with you over the last 2 years, and you've done a great job in representing West Devon and the county. So thank you for your input. I would like to take this opportunity to thank fellow councillors in my 16 years at West Devon, and also the officers who have been incredible, I think, seeing us through some very, very difficult financial times. Unfortunately, I was one of the ones who was involved with T18 when a certain chancellor brought in austerity measures which nearly wiped out a lot of local district councils. But we survived thanks to our officers in finance and other officers as well. I think West Devon should be very proud of the team that we've got, and I sincerely hope that you newly elected councillors will be able to work with the officers as we have done in the past. It's not always easy, but it's rewarding at the end. So all the best to you all, and thank you everyone for your support over the last 16 years. Especially you, Madam Councillor Mark.
Yes,
I must remember
yes,
that. Congratulations.
Yes, I would also like to thank those who were on the previous council for their contribution for ensuring that this was a well-run and efficient council. Their experience and knowledge will be missed. As I step down from this role, I look forward to getting to know the many new councillors that we have now and working with them on various projects to improve matters in the borough. I also need to thank a few other people for their support this year, for the officers who work behind the scenes, for Mr. Bates and Mr. White, for the nudges to keep me in line, and in particular to Cathy, who has chivvied and chased me to ensure that everything went mostly to plan, and for ensuring that I get to events on the right day at the right time. Oh, Cathy. You must be a babe. also my chaplain for the year, Reverend Adrian Brooke. Your gentle presence and humour has been a great comfort, and I enjoyed our chat yesterday as we were bouncing around the moor. Yeah. Careful, Councillor Ewan. I do hope you've enjoyed the experience, and I would like to present a small gift to you, please. As some of you know, my chosen charity for the year was the North Dartmoor Search and Rescue Group. They, along with the 3 other groups based on Dartmoor, received no funding other than what they can raise themselves. And I'm delighted to say, as Councillor Drury said, we've managed to raise £2,000 for them this year. And I would like to thank everyone who has supported this in any way, especially the businesses who sponsored or gave prizes for some of the activities. And finally, Mr. Mayor, I have a gift for you to help you in the year to come. I have a small survival kit for you.
Oh, thank you. I hope I'll survive it.
I'm sure you will. So in here we have various bits and pieces. So we've got coffee to make sure that you're alert in the morning.
Yes.
Tea bags to refresh you at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Crayons to make sure that every day is bright and colourful. An elastic band for when you stretch to your limits. A safety pin to help you hold it all together. A button for when you may need to button your lip. Salt for when you need to take things with a pinch of it. Sugar for when life needs a little sweetening. Chocolate for energy throughout the day. A candle for when you're burning yours at both ends. A toothpick to help pick out the good times. Hand gel to keep your hands clean. Okay. Mints to soothe the throat following the speeches and to freshen the breath for the inevitable puckering up. Yes. And finally, unicorn poo. Because being an optimist, you should always look for the pony when you get given a load of crap. Thank you, members. I'm done. I forgot a bit for the Reverend, because I know he's partial to his cheese and crackers and cider. I will do that as I walk back around to my seat. Members, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mott. That was really lovely. So, item 6, disclosure of pecuniary interests. So, I invite any members to declare any disclosable pecuniary interests, other registrable interests and non-registrable interests. So, please state the nature of those interests if you have any. So, on to item 7. We're going to approve the minutes of the council meeting held on the 4th of April 2023 as an accurate and true record of the meeting. Can I ask for a proposer? And a seconder?
I'm happy to second, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Right, now items 8 and 9. Oh, sorry, Councillor Drury. Do you want?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If you'd indulge me just for a moment. I thought I'd like to take this opportunity of approving the last set of minutes of the previous council, just to record appreciation of that council and the way it worked over the last 4 years. The members of that council worked really, really well together, and as has previously been said, worked really well with the officers as well. During that time, if I can just summarise very briefly, we dealt with the emergency of COVID, and I think did that extremely well. We developed our strategic plan for West Devon and followed that up with an itemised and costed action plan, which we're now delivering. In between, we managed to find time to take on a national issue of importance through the exempt housing benefit, and I describe it as a scandal. I think it was a scandal and to some extent still is, but is being resolved in no small part due to the efforts of this small council in Devon. We've also achieved investment, or the promise of investment, into the borough, which is more, I think, than we have probably ever had before. And that's in no small part due to the members and the officers working together. And I think to cap it all, at the end of the period, the senior leadership team, who we've all supported and worked for, were finalists in the MJ Awards for Team of the Year. Again, a huge accolade for a small council, small rural council. I'm very mindful that a number of the councillors that were with us along that journey and fully contributed are not here today, and I'd like to make my thanks to those that either didn't stand for re-election, including Councillor Pearce, who is here today, but also including Councillors Davies, Ratcliffe, Wood, Spettigue, Coulston and Bolton, and also those councillors that stood for re-election and weren't successful in returning to this chamber. So Councillors Ridgers, Crozier, Hayworth, Yelland, Samuel, Turnbull and Kemp. And in saying that, I'd like to welcome all those councillors that have been elected, and congratulations on your election, and I hope we can continue in the same vein to work for the people of West Devon. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And all in favour?
That's clearly carried for approval of the minutes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So now on to items 8 and 9, to appoint a leader and a deputy of the council. So, can I ask for a nomination?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It was my honour and privilege to nominate and propose Councillor Ewings for the position of leader. Excuse me.
And a seconder?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And at risk of talking too much, and I will sit down in a second, I'd like to second the nomination. As the leader of the council over the past 4 years, I fully appreciated the privilege that it has been to work for the people of West Devon and for this council. It's hard work. You will need your wits, Mandy. I'm sure you've got them. But here's hoping that everything goes well for you in this period, and I'm very happy to second that nomination.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Okay, so can we have a vote on that, please?
That's 22 in favour. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And now the nominations for the deputy leader of the council. Can I have a nomination, please?
It gives me great pleasure to nominate Councillor Mark Renders for the position of Deputy Leader of the Council.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Madam Mayor, I'm very happy to second that nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Drury. And all in favour?
That's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry. Thank you very much. So the new leader of the council is Councillor Mandy Ewins and the deputy is Councillor Mark Renders. So thank you. So on to item 10 of your agenda, report on the composition of political groups. So the current council is made up of 28 members, 17 of the West Devon Alliance, and 11 on the Conservative group. And we ask the Council to note this. And item 11, approving the committee structure for the coming year. So the Audit Committee will have 7 members. The Hub Committee will have 9 members. The Overview and Scrutiny Committee will have 15 members. Development Management and Licensing Committee will have 10 members. Regeneration and Investment Committee will have 3 members. Council Tax Setting Committee will have 4 members. And 2 on Dartmoor National Park Authority. And we will have a balance of members. We'll be politically balanced on our committees. So can I have a proposer for that?
I'd like to propose that, Mr. Mayor. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Councillor Jury for the way he has led this council in the last 4 years. You have been an exemplary leader. You have carried yourself with great dignity, humour and eloquence. I'm not sure I can match most of those. But you have really led this council well, Neil. The hours you have put in, I'm waiting for the 60 to sort of come this way a week. I hope that we will still work together if you've had your election in your group yet. And I look forward to working with you and Councillor Edmonds if he's hopefully kept his place. Thank you both very much for everything you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Happy to second, Mr. Mayor. Let us speak here.
Any questions? So no questions, so can we have a vote, please?
That's unanimous for the committee structure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Item 12 on the agenda, the appointment of independent persons. And I'd like David Fairbairn to introduce this.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members, you'll recall from the Code of Conduct training, those of you who were there, that I explained during the course of that training that the Council had a duty to promote and maintain high standards of behaviour. And as part of that duty was obliged to adopt a Code of Conduct and to put in place arrangements for dealing with complaints that members had breached the Code of Conduct. The independent persons are part of that, those arrangements for dealing with the complaints. The functions of the independent person are set out in paragraph 2.3 of the report, but in essence, they are there to be consulted at various stages of the process, either by myself or by the assessment panel or the hearings panel, hearings subcommittee, pending any decisions to investigate, etc. They are at present the 5 who are named in the report. They've all indicated their willingness to restand and to be reappointed. They are shared with South Hams, and South Hams have agreed to their reappointment. As I've said in the report, we'll be going through a recruitment process for the next term, and that process will be overseen by the Audit and Governance Committee, and the Audit and Governance Committee ultimately will make a recommendation to Council. For the time being, we're required to have the independent persons appointed. They are an integral part to the complaints process, and therefore I'd invite Council to reappoint the 5 people named in the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, councillors? So can I invite a proposer, please?
I'd like to propose the appointment of the independent persons, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Very happy to second, Mr. Mayor.
Any debate? So we'll have a show of hands, please, on that.
23 in favour.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
So, item 13 of the agenda, receiving the reports of the committees. Can I ask for the overview and scrutiny committee report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the minutes of the meetings of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee held on the 21st of March 23 be received and noted. They are ONS 6622 to ONS 7422 and can be found between pages 11 and 14 of the published agenda papers. May I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second that, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions, members? Can I have a... Can we just have a vote on accepting those minutes, please?
Those are clearly noted. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Sorry, I've got my notes there. Oh, yes. And can I invite Councillor Edmonds to present the Regeneration and Investment Committee minutes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And may I add my congratulations on your election and, of course, to the Deputy Mayor. And I must apologise for the voice, or perhaps I should say the lack of it. I hope it gets me through the next bit. I move that the minutes of the meeting of the Regeneration and Investment Committee held on the 2nd of May 2023 be received and noted. They are RE 422 to RE 722 and can be found between pages 15 and 16 of the published agenda papers. May I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second that, Madam Mayor.
Could we have a show of hands, please, to accept the minutes?
Those are duly noted. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Honorary Alderman. So I'd ask the Head of Democratic Services to introduce this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Council has the ability to confer the title of Honorary Alderman upon previous serving elected members that are considered to have given eminent service to the Borough Council. It is within our gift to define what we mean to be eminent service, and our proposed criteria has been drafted at paragraph 3.1 of the published agenda report. Assuming that those recommendations are approved today, the next step will be for me to then write to group leaders to seek their respective nominations for that title. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Cheadle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wondered if within the scope of this scheme we would be able to provide a certificate or some form of visible recognition that someone has actually been accorded the honour.
Mr. Mayor, absolutely. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. In Devon County Council, aldermen actually get a little pin, I think, or a badge. I just think maybe outside the meeting that would be, following on what Councillor Cheadle so well says.
Thank you. So a proposer? Thank you, Councillor Mott. And a seconder?
I'm happy to second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Ewins. Any debate, members? Councillor Ball?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and add my congratulations to yourself and the Deputy Mayor. I think this is a fantastic idea and a fantastic opportunity for us to recognise members that have played a part in not only just
the council workings, but also in the communities they've represented. Many of us have our individual causes and things that we're passionate about in our own communities and can play a part in those communities. And I think this gives an opportunity to give recognition to that. So I fully endorse it and certainly be supporting the recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And would the proposer like to conclude the item? Thank you, Councillor Mott. And if there's no more debate, we'll have a show of hands, please. All in favour?
(24 in favour). Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. And before we end the meeting, I would like to present our outgoing Mayor and Deputy with their awards. Thank you. Fellow councillors, I would like to adjourn this meeting until the 27th of June. So thank you all for attending. And goodbye.